Oh, you scaring them by saying that. We're live. Southwest Florida, welcome to another edition of Leap It's Live. And we're here at the 2020 celebration of Founders Day for Delta Sigma Theta sorority at the national level. And we had the national president here at the Crown Plaza Hotel in Fort Myers. And it was a fabulous affair. Everybody who's anybody came out. Leap It's Live was the media sponsor. And there would be no such thing as a Leap It's Live that you guys take for granted today had it not been for a Delta who got me into television. You see how history works? So it's in the early 1990s. Marion, you can give the exact date. She keeps up with this. Marion Redden essentially is my big sister. I'm not going to say my mom because I don't want to make people think you older. Marion got me into television, and she's a member of Delta Sigma Theta sorority. Welcome to Leap It's Live.
Thank you, Lee. It's good to be here.
Keep the mic up.
All right.
Okay, so I want people to know that.
Yes.
And let's get your full name.
My name is Marissa Fleetwood.
Okay, and Marissa, you're a member of Delta Sigma Theta, of course, as well. Now, you're with the Collier County or the Lee County chapter?
That is correct. I'm from the Collier County Alumni Chapter
Of Delta Sigma Theta sorority. So we got two Deltas here, all in their red, and let's have a little bit of debriefing. Now, tell me first, how did you enjoy the Founders Day program today?
Oh my goodness, the moment was so epic. I am so humbled that I was able to meet the national president. It was very, very, as I stated, very epic, and it will be a forever memorable moment for me. I had no idea that I'll be able to meet the national president, and she was very personable and very pleasant.
Not what you expected, or you just kind of like...
She's not untouchable. She was just like a normal person.
Yeah, that's Beverly Smith.
Yes.
I got an opportunity to talk to her as well. Let's move over to you, Marion. You've heard some great speakers over the years.
Yes.
It's fair for me to also describe you as a civil rights activist.
Yes.
You have never wavered on that from, I think you may have gotten started in college, and you've always been active in the civil rights movement and in the community, right?
Yes, definitely started here in Fort Myers when we integrated the Fort Myers Beach, integrated the arcade downtown, integrated the bowling alley on Palm Beach. Well, yeah, I was very active in the sit-ins and the demonstrations that we had here under the leadership of Reverend Isidore Edwards and Marvin Davies, who was at that time the field secretary for the NAACP.
So no matter where you look, a Delta got their fingerprints on something to change the world as we know it. Is that fair to say?
Amen. Amen, amen. And I tell you, I was just so encouraged with the message from the national president today, as I'm now getting olderly, of course, but she certainly has motivated me to get back into the fight more so than what I have been doing in the past few years. And I just admired the truth of her message that we must not really slow down. We must stay in our boots, and we must get to walking and talking and being a part of the problem to solve all of these problems, and starting at the local level. We have to reach out and get our children. We have to take back really all that we have fought for. And so I just say to everybody, it is time to wake up and to stand up and to make the difference that we need made as African Americans in this city and Lee County, of course. And we're certainly going to see some mighty changes happening in this 2020.
All right. Now, when you hear one of your sorority sisters so passionate like that, when you go back to Collier County, when you get into those meetings that you've heard your national president speak, how energized are you now to say, let's get rolling, let's get these, we thought we were moving.
I am so energetic. What is your name again?
Lee Pitts.
Mr. Pitts.
It's right here on this right here, by the way.
Meeting you, but it's
Go ahead.
just that I'm on fire.
Okay.
Actually, I've been involved with the Political Action Committee in Collier County, and where we have been registering our church members from Trinity Community Church, getting them out to come out and vote, and registered individuals. But after hearing our national president speak, it actually really wanted me to react to that. She stated, where did you get your shoes, your red shoes? and where you're going with them. So I really want to hit the ground again, like I did last year, to get individuals to get them registered to vote. But I'm really ready to go door to door to see what I can do for the 2020 census, how I can get these individuals applications complete. Actually completing the application on on the internet, or use social media. So I'm really ready. I'm in gear.
All right. Now, Marion, when you hear her is motivated like that, does that inspire you even more?
Well, I've already been inspired. Of course, you know that I had to get a little break because I was going through a lot of family issues, and now that those are over, I'm just recovering from all of that, and I'm just about ready to get those boots back on. And I told Jerry Ware, knowing that she's been so active and a part of the process all of these years, I'm looking forward to getting extremely involved in all that needs to be done here in Robert E. Lee County.
Marion, when you look at Lee County chapter, which you've been a part of for many years, when you look at the chapter now, do you feel that it's in good shape? You're proud of what you're seeing now?
Oh my goodness, yes. Especially having met the
that'll
new
be the Fort Myers alumni chapter.
Fort Myers, right, and with Kathy Bruno now as the head, the president, I am just so inspired. In my niece Tisha Moore, who is constantly motivating me, Auntie, you got to come back and get involved. But as I would tell her then, Lee, I had a huge job when I first came back to Fort Myers, and those assignments included you, okay? And that's why you're doing what you're doing now. And I'm so thankful to having been obedient to really the call that God had put on my life in order to get all of those assignments completed, now that he's releasing me to really get back into what I call normal society.
Okay, but let me hit you with something that's going to shock you. You don't know I've been blessed. God has blessed me and helps me in doing this television show, is that I retain so much information, and when it's time for me to bring it up, I can bring it up.
Okay.
Out of nowhere, like a computer, people always tell me, how do you remember that? I remember that you are a dietitian. From the 90s, you were always promoting good eating habits, how you prepare your food, and then your national president talked about the importance of diet and taking care of ourselves. Yes. We got an insurance professional here. She sees it all the time, Tanya. She won't come on air. That's my insurance lady. How did all that come full circle when you were listening to that? I know it was hitting you in a different way.
It really was. It's amazing that you would.
Yes,
I know. And I was looking at, even the bodies of the people that was present. That's always constantly in my mind. And so, yes, my background was that of hospital dietetics. I was a registered dietitian and hospital food service administrator in the Air Force, as well as in civilian life.
I shocked you.
I know you did. You really did. You took me all the way back. So I am just I'm just motivated now to really just get started in tackling the issues that we as a people are really having to deal with. And yes, health is just at the top of the list. Yes.
And for all your insurance needs, State Farm, Tanya Lowe. Look at that plug I'm giving you, Tanya. Do they Google you, or they go to a website, or what, Tanya? TanyaLowe.com. And I'm not getting any advertising dollars for.
She's my agent as well.
That's right. Let's wrap this up. Say something to the Fort Myers Alumni Chapter on today's, and how proud they made you.
I am very proud. Congratulations again to my sorors from the Fort Myers chapter. Delta Sigma Theta, I'm very proud of you. The moment is very epic here, and I look forward to coming to many more of your events. Collier County Alumni Chapter is very supportive of you.
And I got to get myself down to Collier County and cover an event, so you guys keep me posted on that.
Yes.
I didn't get a chance to talk to your president. I need her to get in touch with me as well. And final, say something on the way out to the people who put this on today.
Okay, I just want to say kudos to all of those involved in the Founders Day celebration today. It certainly was just at the top of the mountain. And I'm so glad that I was able to get here and to be a part, and I am getting ready to get active as a full-pledged member. That means paying the membership dues. Because hey, listen, I pledged in 1966 Alpha Chi chapter of Delta Sigma Theta at Tennessee State University. Okay, and so I was well ingrained and really learned a lot, especially as it relates to community service. And I look back on that experience, and I'm so thankful to have had that experience at Tennessee State in Nashville, Tennessee.
Just so you know, in 1966, I was taking my first swim lessons, and my mom was making me do the James Brown for all the people came. When people come over to visit you,
yes.
Your mom called you out to the room to dance for them. Well, I don't want to date you too much, but that was 1966. I was 6 years old.
It was at Tennessee State that I met H. Rap Brown and Stokely Carmichael when they were demonstrating. And even at Tuskegee, when I went there to do my dietetic internship, they came there to rally the community. So I learned a lot from that experience. And I'm so thankful, that I had that opportunity and the experiences that I did. And I can look back now and see how God was really training me all the way. And I'm just so thankful.
Okay. Well, we're so impressed with Fort Myers and Collier County alumni chapters of Delta Sigma Theta sorority. They have just done an outstanding job in our community and raising the bar. And we're just going to continue to support them and all the things that they are doing. This is Leap Pits Live. Be right back with some more people here on the red carpet, as Leap Pits Live is the media sponsor of the historic event. Beverly Smith, the national president, came to Fort Myers to speak at the Founders Day. And Leap Pits Live would never have existed into the future. About 28 years ago, the show started because Marion Ridden gave me the microphone and said, "Lee, go do your thing." She's a former TV talk show host herself, and it's just so apropos that all of this came together. Marion, when we did this about 28 years ago, now you made this happen.
Right, and do you remember what you told me? Do you remember what you told me when I told you that you needed to come on TV? I had you hosting my program when my dad died, and I will never forget you saying, "Sims, you're not over your dad's death yet. When you're coming back?" I'm not a TV host.
Right. I kept saying I'm not a TV host.
I'm a banker. I'm a banker.
I was sitting in for her. I wasn't playing on. You know what though? 28 years ago or so, when you did that, it was for this. 28 years later.
She passed the torch one time.
Because the technology at the time, Marion knows that the technology didn't allow for me to come out in the field like this now. So many inventions took place, the computer and the SD card. So the only reason I'm able to sit here, because back then you just had to be in a TV studio with those big tapes and all that TV equipment. Marion, I know you haven't been keeping up with it, but there's an SD card in that camera that allows me to go anywhere I want to go now, and I can take the show on the road. So when you were doing that 28 years ago, it was for your sorority. For me to be here today to cover this historic event.
God is in control of everything.
And I kept telling her I didn't want to do television.
Yeah, he kept saying he's a banker.
No, you should be on television. I'm like, I'm working at the bank. I'll sit in for you. You had gone up to Sarasota to sell your house or whatever. And she kept on saying, "No, keep doing it." I'm like, I got stuff to do.
Yes.
You learn something, then you're telling you.
Yeah.
I was a little
but he was very good. And he didn't realize how good he was. Okay? And that's what he kept saying. But God knew better. Okay? So I'm just so proud of him. Really, every time I look at him on Sunday mornings. Yeah.
Yeah, so every Sunday morning, catch us on Fox 4 at 8:30 a.m. All because when you see me on television, it was a Delta that made it happen. We'll be right back.